Produced by Victoire. Victoire gives a special thanks to the EWF, Empire Wrestling Federation, and Mr. Jesse Hernandez, as well as SoCal Wrestling TV. Find the app on Roku. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Stylin', the podcast. I am your host, Emir, joined by my co-host, my tag team partner, WWE and AEW superstar and American Gladiator champion, Rico Constantino. Rico, I see that you're back there in your American Gladiator garb. And of course,
I am.
Of course, Rico, joining us today, Lori Fetrick. American Gladiator Ice, as you see down there at the bottom of your screen. Ice, Lori, welcome to our show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm really excited that you have a podcast. That's exciting. That's awesome.
It's so great to see you. And I said it off camera, say it again. You are just as beautiful as you were 34 years ago.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. That smile is just contagious.
I can't believe it's that much time has went by. You know?
1990.
I was going to say, you guys have not seen each other since then? Not once?
Not once.
No.
Lori, have you seen Rico since then on TV? Did you watch him and did you see him in WWE?
Oh, I saw him on WWE, but I mean, that's different. It's not like sitting here and having a podcast with him and chit chatting. That's really different.
No, it's incredible to have you here. But viewers, before we kick things off today, I will ask one thing. Rico, what looks good to us?
If you just smash that subscribe button right now, don't hesitate, initiate.
Yep.
Now.
Hit that subscribe button, hit the likes, and tell all your friends and family about this. But enough of that. Now on to our subject for this episode, Lori. So, Lori, you were American Gladiator Ice. It was a huge movement. It even swept across to the UK at one time. I was a big fan of the UK Gladiators when I was a youngster. But for those who may not be aware, tell us a little bit about growing up. Like, what led you to become an American Gladiator? What kind of a kid, teenager was Lori Fetrick? Let's start.
Lori Fetrick was a tomboy. Lori Fetrick was a tomboy growing up all the way. I mean, I played basketball in the backyard with my dad, shooting hoops from the time I can remember. And then just going through high school, I started playing softball at 4th grade. So I was a little jock, and all I wanted to do is play sports, and so I had to really, really focus on my grades because of the fact that that was secondary to me. Mm-hmm. But after high school, basically, I got in the gym and started lifting weights and got into bodybuilding and started actually competing. And it's funny because when I talk about that now, there's so many different divisions: bikini, fitness, blah 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 blah. Like what, 20 different divisions?
Yeah. There was just one when we were.
There was one when I was competing. One. That was it.
Yeah.
So I was actually about 5 years into competing when Gladiators came along for tryouts. Mm-hmm. And I was actually going to my 3rd nationals because you had to win the nationals in your division to go pro. And that was my end goal for bodybuilding. I just wanted to go pro. Mm-hmm. Year.
Were you part of NPC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So was I. I was NPC also.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was like one of those transitions to where I, when I tried out for Gladiators and I got the job, I was like, oh, wait, I don't have to diet, like, the bodybuilding diet and then.
I competed a little bit and then I got shot and that took care of the competition. But the dieting, my gosh, losing the water weight. And then,
oh my God, it was intense.
Yeah. You got to be really focused to be a bodybuilder. So if she's going for nationals, she was just this close of going pro, folks. When you start winning the nationals and you go pro, then you get sponsors. And then
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was looking for. And it was just like, I'll be honest with you, that obviously that never hit. But when Gladiators came, I mean, it was just this transition. And I was like, sweet, this is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
I just want to, I hate to say it, I just want to get paid to train.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where all the endorsements and sponsorships come in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That makes
Yeah.
that's
sense.
what I was shooting for.
And you had a competitive market back there because the women were starting to become a focal point. Who were some of your competitors back then, bodybuilding?
Oh, I had Nikki Fuller. Shelly Beatty was in my category, who played Siren on our team. Who else did we have? Corey Everson at that time
Yeah.
was probably, I'm going to say that was her second Miss Olympia.
Okay.
And so that was the time that I was competing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, yeah, it was Corey for about, I think she took it like 6 or 7 times. And that's my era right there.
Yeah. I remember Corey.
Well, I remember somebody actually literally just hit me on my Instagram and said, "Hey, did you know Bev Francis back
Bev
then?"
Francis
Oh yeah,
too.
Beth
Yeah.
Francis.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know her. I knew of her back in the
Right.
day. You know, I
Yeah.
could not be in bodybuilding and not know these names, as a female.
Yeah. But
No.
I gotta ask as an outsider though, so what were you doing to support yourself at the time? Because bodybuilding with the food, it can be quite
Oh,
expensive.
that's a great question. That is a great question because you realize I have done hundreds of podcasts and nobody's asked me that.
Wow. That's a first, Rico.
I know, isn't that funny? It's like how we ask it. I was a personal trainer. And before I was a personal trainer, though, because people don't put the timelines together because once you start bodybuilding, it's like you just start bodybuilding. So it's not like everything that's going on in fitness. So you're not a personal trainer at that point in time.
Right.
You wait for about 2 to 3 years, most likely, and then you get your personal training license and then you build up your clientele. So what I was doing, I was an accountant. I was working a 9 to 5 job.
Wow.
And I was going in the morning. I was in the gym by like 5:30 in the morning, training, doing my cardio.
Yeah.
If I missed the morning, I'd go on my lunch. And then sometimes he'd even go split it up into the afternoon, or I should say after work workout.
Yeah.
So I was working a full-time job and competing at the time.
Gosh.
So was I. I had to do the same thing. Paramedic. And then
yeah.
yeah.
You do what you got to do. If you really want to compete, you find the time.
Yeah.
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 That's the devotion and dedication right there.
Yeah.
And the competition, the competitive attitude.
Yeah. Which is what I think
which Lori knows nothing about a competitive.
No, I don't know anything about being competitive.
No, I've heard the stories. Trust me, Lori. I've heard from this man, Rico. He was telling me about your intensity factor. What did you say to me earlier, Rico, about Lori when you saw her in action?
Oh my God. Out of all 5 lady gladiators, that was the most intense gladiator right there. You could see it in her eyes, and she had big bushy hair. Zonka.
That was the hair of the 80s.
Yeah, I know. Well, look at me. I had a mullet.
Yeah, that's true. You did.
My mullet was so good, I called it a moulet.
See, there you have it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Zonka and I used to talk about Lori when she delivered those hits in Powerball. Oh my God, she looked like a linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's funny about that, Rico, is that I'll be honest, when I was probably, I'm going to say anywhere between 10 and 13, our neighborhood would get together and we would play tackle football
in the park,
in the front yards and in the parks and shit.
Yeah.
So I started tackling people when I was at a young age.
Wow.
So when I got to do it as a living, I was like, oh, score.
Yeah. God.
Intense. It's like she was focused like a big jet. She'd see and hit him square shouldered. It looks like she was taught as a linebacker or a strong safety. Yeah. And when she jousted, bing, bang, and then got combinations. I mean, boom, boom, all the contender could do was fall off, But the only one they were really at a disadvantage was the swing one. Remember we were on the podium?
You're talking about a contender. Human Cannibal.
Yeah, I didn't think that was fair for the gladiators, but no. But Powerball, and Breakthrough and Conquer. Oh boy, the football one. I don't think. Did anybody get by you? They did in my season.
Yeah, they did. They did a little bit.
But the conquering, You had 10 seconds to pull a gladiator or push him out of that conquer ring.
Yeah.
And she stood there like a pole, like cement pole, and threw you down, threw you to the side.
Now,
You tried to tap her legs.
Now, Rico, my secret to the conquering was the girl would come in because we were face to face.
Right.
The girl would shoot for me, like she'd shoot for my legs.
Right.
She went down and shot for my legs.
You pancaked.
I caught her head and I'd shove it to the mat.
Yeah. She'd pancake him.
Yeah.
I would hold her head as hard as I could, just flat out to the bottom of that mat to where she couldn't move.
And she spun around her.
Yeah.
She'd spin around him just to keep the motion going. Because if it went stagnant, the referee, let her up.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm talking this, just the intensity that would just, because the camera would focus on her on stuff like that. And I'd be like, woo, I'm glad I don't have to face her. I'll face Gemini before I have to face her.
Yeah.
But you were intense. I mean, extraordinary athlete back then. I think that was my season was your first season. And I believe Diamond's first season.
I think it was.
Yeah. Because they brought in Turbo and Thunder because they got rid of Titan and Malibu.
That's right. Because I remember, I think I did 13 episodes without Diamond, because I could be wrong, but I remember her and I trying out exactly the same time. But yet when I made the team, I didn't see her in that photo, the team photo, until the next 13 episodes.
Right. So, she wasn't on the fall. She was on the spring.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember her because I met her too, but I noticed she didn't do the fall season because they film it simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The fall and spring. It's like a 10-hour day, isn't it, Lori?
Oh, it was crazy.
Oh my God. They filmed we all went to lunch.
Yeah.
We all came back and then we continued. And then, of course, the last event was the most on the contender, the Eliminator.
Oh, God.
Exactly. The Eliminator. And I remember that vividly from the UK Gladiators. But Lori, so did you have any TV experience before doing Gladiators?
None. Absolutely none. I didn't even consider being on TV. Wow. It wasn't even one of those. I think more so than anything, when I was 18 and 19, I had that pipe dream of becoming that model,
Yeah.
And I remember I'd go into a couple of modeling agencies, and that's when they wanted the girls really tall.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was only 5'7", and the cutoff was like 5'8". So I'd walk in heels, and then they'd make me take the heels off. But it wasn't that I didn't have a desire to be on TV. I just didn't know how. Uh-huh. And I guess I could say I didn't have a desire because I didn't know anything about it.
Right. Yeah. But how did you find it? How did you find adjusting to it?
That was basically, I was watching television one day and I saw the show and Ray Hollett was on it. And I was just like, and I competed against her. So I knew who she was.
Right. Yeah. Zap was out the first season, maternity. Yeah.
Yep. I saw her in the gym and I said, hey, I saw you on this show, and I go, how do you get on that? She goes, oh, just watch it till the end. They'll tell you how to get on it. And I was like, huh? Yeah, no, that's not the way it happened. But adjusting to TV, adjusting to the life of TV was, I don't know, to me, it was kind of easy because of the fact that I was always very grounded, I never took myself super seriously. I did take it seriously when it came to competing on the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Outside of the life of that, all the glitz and glamour and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah. It was all new to me. And so I was just like a kid in a candy shop, man. Yeah. I was just like, woohoo, that's having my life.
Yeah.
I adjusted really well.
No, that's really nice. Okay. It must have been an amazing experience. And of course, many kids must have loved your character on the show. So did you work with any children organizations, charities, and things like?
Amir, it's funny because back when I first started, it wasn't geared towards kids at all. This was an adult show. Yeah. It came on at 11, 12 o'clock midnight. It was franchise. It was syndicated. So in different markets, it showed at different times, but mainly on Saturday evenings after or while everybody was at a party.
Yeah.
Instead of turning on Saturday Night Live, people would turn on the Gladiator show while they were partying their asses off at midnight.
Right.
So this show was geared towards adults for the first probably 3-4 years.
Gosh, okay.
Then the kids started coming into play.
Right.
So we had nothing to do with any children, no charities, no nothing in the very beginning of Gladiators.
Very interesting. See, because I was spoiled by the UK Gladiators. So by the time it hit us in 93, it was Saturday night, 6 p.m. So it was like it was prime.
They were gods over there, man.
Yeah.
I remember going over there for the international show, and it was like they were like on billboards and buses, and we walked up, we were like this when we walked over and went. We were just in awe of how big they were over there. And then I had to put it in perspective. The size of England is the size of California.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I went, okay, that makes sense now. That's why they're gods over there,
Yeah.
However, it's yeah, a lot of people, I mean, the UK version, when that came out, that just took off like wildfire, and it was just amazing. I became really good friends with Jet and Wolf and some of the other ones over there. Trojan.
Wait a minute.
Not Jet. What was that last word you said?
Trojan?
No, you said Jet, and you said
Wolf.
Oh.
No? From the UK?
No, Lori, you struck a chord with Rico.
Oh, what happened? Is this for another time?
No.
Oh, no, that's it. The stylist has to answer this question or get on this. The stylist has to go. I got to get out of champion mode. I got to get into stylist mode.
Okay. All right.
Lori, I'll be right back.
While he's doing that, Lori, I'll fill you in on what this is. So I've spoken privately with Rico, and he said, he wasn't a fan of the Wolf because he thinks he played too much into the character, like he was trying to get a job in WWE or something like that.
That's what they wanted, though.
Well, that's what
I wanted that. And if you think about it, when they rebooted the Gladiators here in 208, they had another Wolf version. Did you see that one?
I didn't see that one.
He was even worse.
Oh, it was?
It was like stupid ridiculous,
Right.
Okay. Here's Rico. Now everybody you see he's got WWE tag team title belts. He's in his gimmick. So Rico, we were talking about Wolf and how he's trying to be a WWE wrestler.
Not the UK Wolf, the 208 Wolf.
That's what I'm talking about. The 208 Wolf, I couldn't stand that character. But you know what, Rico? Man. That's where in 208, they overproduced the show.
Yeah.
They wanted characters, so they wanted them to play up to the camera. And as much as, you and I don't know you, but the Gladiators at that point in time, the first 3 years we came out, we fought so hard of every single person in the world was like, oh, you guys are wrestling. You're wrestling. It's all fake. It's all fake. We're like, what? Yep. So we fought that whole WWF wrestling concept for years. And then all of a sudden, when they reboot it in 208, they're like, oh, we want y'all to have characters. And it's just like, what are you doing? You're ruining the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
That is so right. And that's why because Hogan and Muhammad Ali's daughter did it. And I was watching that 208 Wolf, and he was pissing me off. I was pissed. I'm like, how dare you try to be a WWE on the Gladiators? I said, you have no idea what those Gladiators did, the original Gladiators, how they forged the ground to make the show a reality show. And it was serious. That was a real competition. And
the first of the first of the first.
Yes.
Yep.
And I took it as such a slap in the face, a disrespect. And it got brought up, and I said, and I even called Hulk. I called Terry. I said, I'll come on for free. I just put me against him. Just please. I don't want any money. I want him.
Yeah.
I want him.
You know who I wanted?
Who?
Gina. I love her. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
She's beautiful. She's awesome. But I wanted to go in and kick her ass so bad. I'm like, girl, you may be awesome at MMA, but you're in my fucking house right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna annihilate you on these events.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, he just over the top. And now, if he wanted to, and I said this, it's nothing personal against him. It's how he treated the gladiator position. He took it as a clown.
Okay, so that's my point about Gina. Gina, what I heard, okay, and this is exactly coming from the horse's mouth. I hate interviews, really not into the show. It's like, what? She didn't even want to be a gladiator.
No.
She didn't even want the position. And they threw so much money at her, she couldn't say no.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, you're absolutely right, Rico. I am right. I'm 100% with you on that. If it's not for you, don't do it, and don't drag the name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a little protective of it, just like you.
You gotta be. I was. I mean, you guys more than me, because you were the product, you know, and what you guys did for those first 3 or 4 years, you know, I mean, second season on, the way Aton produced the show. I mean, my gosh, there was a lot of effort, and the people were really genuinely fans. I mean, they're still today, but back then you earned respect, because I mean, I competed 5 times. You went out as gladiators. I mean, I can't say how many times, contender after contender after contender.
I was
you
on
know
8 to 9 seasons.
Wow.
So yeah.
And there's 13 episodes per season.
No, we went to 21.
It went, yeah, but
yeah, we started out at 13 episodes per season, the first 2 to 3 seasons.
Yep.
And the following ones, we went 21 shows per season.
Yeah. And there's only 5 of them. You guys didn't have alternates. Because I remember
no alternates. We were like
no alternates. You went out there hurt. Because I remember in the quarterfinals, I went through the Lady and the Tiger, and it drops a little bit. So I didn't know that. So I came in low, and I hit Turbo in his knee. And for the rest of that year, he wore the knee brace. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
I hit Galen in the knee.
Yeah.
You know, not on purpose.
I'm sitting here talking to you, and I could literally, in the back of my mind, see you run out in that little red fucking contender outfit.
I was 28 years old, excited. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah. We got a scene of that, Laurie, in the opening for this show. When he's running out, we got all that. But Laurie, do you know that Rico went on and did Fort Boyard, or the Keys to Fort Boyard, another competition show out in France?
No, I did not know that. How was that?
Okay, remember when Craig Branham became the grand champion?
Yeah.
That's because I had a concussion the night of the championship.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Nitro threw the bag, he faked, and then he threw it, hit me on top of the head. And that's the only eliminator I lost, but I had enough points on John Adams. I won. So they came to me when I'm getting checked out, and they said, well, you got to go on tomorrow. I said, give me 1 day and I'll go out. They went, if you don't go, we're going to replace you. I went, okay, hell or high water, I'm going out, win, lose, or draw. So I went out, and Craig got me, but not because I was hurt. He was a good athlete. Craig was good. And then the year later, I tried out for this show, Conquer Fort Boyard, which Aton produced.
Nice.
And when it all was said and done, there was a team. It was 2 men, 2 women against 2 men and 2 women on this fort that Napoleon Bonaparte had built. So when I look across, I'm the team captain of the Cavaliers, and guess who's the team captain of the other team? Craig Branham.
Oh my God.
And I went, here we go. Yeah. So he's getting cocky. You know, he's cocky.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, hey, you better bring it, Craig. He goes, oh, yeah, I'll get you again like I did before. I said, oh, I need to tell you something. Yeah. I don't have a concussion now. And in that show, because we had all these events, and I had my other partner, the guy partner, and I said, I don't care what happens, but whatever Craig does, I do. I said, so I'm going against him in every. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going against him. And I beat him up the wall. I beat him in the jump. I beat him in everything.
Beat him in everything, yeah.
Yeah.
He
And
had
so
size on him though too.
yeah, but there's climbing the wall.
Yeah, which
That's a little different. And
size. Yeah.
their wall was 80 feet tall.
Oh shit.
It's the outside of the fort.
Yeah.
You got to climb from the ocean all the way to the top.
It's an intense.
You know, it's really crazy because after the Gladiators, I couldn't land any like competitive shows, reality shows. They didn't want anybody that was on television. They wanted like, I want to say quote unquote normal people. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, because you were a contestant, you could do all these different shows. When I went to apply, they were like, no, we can't have you. You were actually a series regular on Gladiators. So you were already on television and that's how people know you. And it was so discouraging because I would do a lot of these competitive shows and they're like, no, we need normal people. I was like, what the fuck do you mean normal? I'm normal. What do you mean?
Oh my gosh. They pigeonholed you.
Yeah.
They did pigeonhole
They
me.
did the same thing to Bob Denver when he played Gilligan.
Well, they did the same thing. I just watched a documentary last night. As a matter of fact, I didn't finish it about the Brat Pack.
Oh, yeah.
With all, basically all the Emilio.
Molly Ringwald, all this stuff.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And he actually did a documentary and I found it fascinating because after they pigeonholed them, like, the Brat Pack, they couldn't get the work. They couldn't get work they wanted, like some serious fucking acting roles, and it's just like, and it's really too bad that Hollywood works like that, but it does. It does. And once they pigeonhole you, you're done.
Yeah.
But Lori, having said that though, so what did you do post Gladiators? How did you reinvent yourself?
I went from Gladiators to, well, first of all, after the Gladiators ended, we did the Gladiator live show down in Orlando. So what I was doing is I'd work a month, come home a month because it was in Florida and I live in California. So I'd go back and forth and that happened for a good year. And then as that was happening, we knew the show was fizzling out. So I needed to kind of, do something. And I was in Orlando at that point in time. So I decided to open a gym. Okay. And I happened to find my investor and it was in Orlando area. So I opened a 10,000 square foot gym. It was huge. I couldn't do just a small personal training gym like most people do. Yeah. No, I went big or go home, I guess. So right after the Gladiators ended, I opened that gym and I ran it for 5 years. And then I turned around and I sold it and I wanted to come back to Cali and come home. Yeah. And since I had my first business, by the way, that was my very first one ever. So started that up and sold it, came back to Cali, did a tanning salon, did the same thing, ran it for 4 or 5 years, turned around, sold it. Yeah. And at that point in time, I got into real estate. Okay. And real estate was booming in California. So I was a realtor for, probably like 5 or 6 years. After the real estate, I actually started, and in between all this time, personal training.
All right. Yeah.
Personal training. Still trying to do television, little bit parts here and there. Yeah. Anything I could get my hands on. You know? I wrote a book, Pure Fitness. I did a fitness video. I was just trying so hard to stay in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was doing anything and everything I could.
Yeah.
And then after that all happened, I mean, 30 years went by like that. Really pretty fast between the gym and the businesses and real estate. Next thing I knew, Muscles Mayhem came along.
Yeah.
Oh, love that documentary.
And that literally reignited, changed my life again.
Yeah.
Which is interesting,
Yeah.
So after Muscles Mayhem hit, I didn't have my podcast, by the way, yet.
Okay. When did you launch it, Laurie?
I launched it about 6 months before I knew the documentary was coming out. Yeah. It took 2 years almost for them to, about a year, I'd say a year and a half. It took them to edit that whole documentary. And on the documentary, I said I had a podcast. And I think I even had the name of it. And I said, Chillin with Ice. Yeah. And all of a sudden I woke up one day and went, oh shit, I need a podcast. I had one.
Yeah.
So I had to I had to hold myself accountable for that one. So I started doing the podcast And as soon as I started doing the podcast and I really started doing the social media, kind of things just started popping and everything started kind of taking off, and it was awesome. I wrote a children's book.
What's the title?
It is called, where is that thing? Stay there. It's called Playground Warriors.
Playground Warriors.
Playground Warriors. Come on, do you expect anything less?
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Oh.
Yeah, nice.
And that's me. That's Ace.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't call her Ice because I would have got sued.
Yeah.
We called her Ace.
Yeah.
But now the children's book is basically that is the fitness and the education, and I, really coming back around to the whole thing of children's obesity.
Yeah.
I just want to help kids like promote, get outside and play and move. And instead of, we're here on our phones like this all the time, especially kids.
Yeah.
All of now generation kids have biceps in their thumb.
Yeah.
Because they're doing all this.
Yeah.
I see kids text so fast, their fingers are on fire.
Oh, I know. And they're so savvy. It's unbelievable.
I know. But you got to get out there and play. Like
yes, like we all did.
Yeah.
We all did.
Yeah. Yeah. We all did. And you've got to be physical too, talking about fitness and that, with guys. If you're on your phone all day and you're not doing it, your testosterone is just going to go.
It's just going to plummet.
You're not going to have anything. So you've got to, and also for depression, to combat depression.
Yeah. You need those endorphins. You need
endorphins. You've got to have endorphins.
Yeah. So that's what we thought. Well, let's promote the children's, let's do a children's book. And I'd like to do a series and an animation actually about it. And we do actually have a YouTube channel, The Playground Warriors, and and there is fitness videos and having kids be, fun and sing along and, do jumping jacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the side of me that really wants to promote the health and fitness to children.
Yeah.
If I can, and that's where we're, really honing in right now on that kind of stuff.
That's so amazing. Have you done any public speaking engagements for that?
Oh my God. I've done a lot of public speaking engagements. I started that up and I was very, very fortunate and I'm super excited. I'm working with a great company right now. And I know that everybody's heard of them. V-Shred.
Okay.
So they're awesome. It's a whole fitness, wellness company, and I'm kind of like the spokesperson for the female side of it, over 40, over 50. And so now it's kind of like I'm, getting into that, and that's been an awesome, fun, exciting ride. And I've been talked to a lot about, different companies and representing their companies, and if I don't believe in it, I can't.
Right.
Good. Yeah. I've lived this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And when I saw V-Shred come along and they were all about like strength training, women lifting weights, doing these things. It's not about cardio.
Right.
It's not about cutting carbs. It's about eating healthy and living that lifestyle and lifting heavy weights and getting that up. So I was like, sign me up. I got you. I love this program. Yeah.
Now you mentioned women over 40 and 50 there. So does that deal with women post-menopause and that? Because obviously, so what have you learned that women can do to help, post-menopause?
Well, let's put it this way. I've been down that road, been through the valleys and the hills, and I'm on the other side of menopause. I'm 61. So
yeah. Doesn't look 61.
Oh, girl.
And you know what? It's funny because I never used to say it because I hated the number. I hated it. Didn't fit. It didn't fit me. But now I'm starting to realize that that's my marketing tool.
Yes.
I'm 61. I look like this. I feel great. I've got a shit ton of muscle on me still, been through the menopause, out of it, on the other side, and life is awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is right now, it's like now the conversation's getting louder about menopause. Okay. So you asked that question, and do you realize just 5 years ago, nobody would have asked that question.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody wanted to say the word menopause.
I know.
Taboo.
It's taboo, I know, but it's like hormones are in like even for men now though, Lori. So like I do
Yeah,
TR.
they call it menopause, not
Yeah,
menopause.
menopause. But I think it's
Speaking
driven
of menopause, I'm getting a hot flash.
again
Yeah,
off.
exactly. I bet you are.
But like it's so prevalent now because we're talking about hormones, but they've genetically modified our foods. Everything is so different from when I was growing up, from when you guys were growing up. And now it's like almost everybody has to start watching that kind of stuff now. So you're gonna have to talk about it too.
Yeah.
I thought it would be extremely productive to talk about it today because again, you've been through that, you've maintained this shape, you didn't stop. And I think that'd be encouraging for women to any of our female audience to hear that, you
Well,
know?
and I also believe that, I mean, when it comes to like, the perimenopause and your body's starting to change, and we're starting to realize that you're hitting perimenopause for women anywhere from 35 and up,
Mhm.
and all that means perimenopause is that our hormones, our estrogen is starting to bounce around, our
Mhm.
testosterone's starting to drop a little bit, our HGH is obviously starting to drop a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Women, I don't know about men, but women, when we're going through the cycles and everything, you have those lulls, you have those days to where you feel weak, you have those days where you're fuzzy headed. All these different things play into everything. I didn't know what was happening at the moment. I just continued my path.
Right.
I just continued to train. Yes, there were days you just want to drive your car off the road. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. It's really funny. We joke about it, but it's a fucking true fact.
Truth,
You're just
yeah.
like, what would happen?
Wow. Yeah.
Well, if you do it, there's no do-over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is what I tell women, and now it's really about the healthy eating, because so much of your food, just like you said, our food's modified. There's so much sugar in everything.
Mhm.
Everything that we eat seems, not everything, but there are so many inflammation triggering, cortisol triggering foods out there.
Mhm.
That a lot of women don't know what those are. And if they stop eating those, it'll make the symptoms, it doesn't take it away. It
Mhm.
just makes the symptoms drop down.
It minimizes them.
Manage it.
Yeah. Yeah. Where they're manageable.
They're manageable. Exactly. So the female audience out there, it's about managing the symptoms, because you're going to go through it. You cannot not go through it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Hormones are changing from the time you're 35 years old. But here's the thing, is it's interesting because I started a little bit on hormone therapy around 40 years old.
Mhm.
And that was a little bit of testosterone in my regimen. Okay. And a little bit of progesterone in my regimen.
Okay.
What has happened also is that women who go, oh, I don't want to take hormones, I don't want to take any kind of hormone therapy, they don't realize it now. It's not synthetic hormones that it was like in our mom's age. My
Right.
mom's like, yeah, it was like horse urine or something. I was like, what? Seriously, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
But now with the hormone therapy right now, it's like you can get the bioidentical hormones.
Yeah.
And they're not dangerous as long as you're balanced.
Right.
Yeah.
See, because the other thing that the media has done is they shoved it down the women's throat when they didn't really know that. They scared so many women. They're like, don't take any kind of hormones because you're going to get cancer.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if your hormones aren't balanced, okay, possibly it's a possibility. But then again, it has to run in your, most of it has to run in your family if you're going to get it in an early age.
Mhm.
But it's like, I tell my females that it's like, get your blood work taken, check your hormones, go through a doctor. You have blood work every 6 months anyway, so you can keep them regulated. You're not going to lose your mind. Keep your cortisol down, keep your stress level down, sleep, eat good, drink water.
Yeah.
All the common knowledge things that we've all known for years.
That everybody forgets. And it's so simple. It's simplicity.
Yes.
We're taking everything and we just exaggerate it and complicate it.
Yes.
Get back to simply. It's like Emir and I talk about all the time, TRT.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I go to a doctor and there's the blood test and there's 3 levels: low, normal, high. The minute an X goes low or high, doctor adjusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the same should be for women also.
And the same is for women. And at the same time, I think it's getting better because there are more women actually reaching out, and they're starting to even look into the peptides.
Yeah.
What do peptides do? Well, one woman just messaged me this morning. She goes, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, "You're on the right path." I mean, this is something that's going to trigger this and trigger that. I think the conversation's getting louder, which is awesome, for women to talk about it and realize that there is life on the other side of menopause. Once you go through the menopause, the first couple of years, everybody's like, "Oh my God, the hot flashes, this and that." Well, no, if you're on hormone therapy, you don't have to go through that.
Right.
I'm 61 and I still feel like I'm 29 to 30 years old. I can out-train most of the women. My energy level is amazing. Yes, I'll say it. The sex drive is amazing. And that's usually the first thing that goes in women. They're like, just like men now, if you think about it, your T drops. If your T drops, you're just like, whatever, I'll watch TV.
Yeah. Same thing on his.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
start crying.
I'm 63 now. I'm 63, Lori.
Oh, damn. Why'd you say, look at you when you went, whoa, 61.
Yeah, because you're still gorgeous.
I was like, how old is he then? If I'm
Yeah, no, I'm 63. And here's a little personal, but I don't need the blue pill. I am fine on my own. I am beautiful. Natural.
That's beautiful. And a lot of men aren't that way.
I know. I just, I'm in the gym. I'm training. I just got through doing their pay-per-view, AEW. I'm in the ring.
Nice.
At 63.
I see those biceps. Damn. Like he's like, let me take my jacket off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. We do that because I have I have all my costumes I had in WWE. And the fans want to see them. Jesus. So I switch them up here and there. These are all ring worn, television worn.
Yeah.
And stuff. So we try to give the fans what they want. But yeah, I am so happy to hear. Well, one, surprise, you're 61 because you look beautiful. And folks, I got to say this too. Just as gorgeous as she is here on the outside, she is that on the inside. She is a wonderful person. I know firsthand because we used to talk at Universal Studios, and she was amazing then. Here I was, just this 28-year-old contender going, wow, if I win, I could become a gladiator, because that was the whole thing put before me.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that was the whole thing.
Yeah, but Ferraro squashed it.
You would have made a great gladiator. To be honest with you, like Craig Branham would not have made a great gladiator. He was too small. He was fast. He was small. You had the look and the size. And you're so athletic and so good. I'm really, really surprised that did not go through.
It wasn't. Aton was pushing.
Yeah.
But Ferraro just.
It was Ferraro's decision.
Ferraro said no. He and I didn't get along. He canned that right away.
Okay, that's why if you saw the documentary, there's no love lost between him and I either.
And I know why. But I've told this to Emir. After I saw Eminem, Muscles of Mayhem, I'm glad I didn't become a gladiator because what they did to you guys. I mean, I saw it and I was in horror. Almost brought me to tears several times on how they treated you and didn't take care of you. And, all these never any medical, they just drained you. They treated you like a sponge, squeezed everything they could.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. What do you think about them rebooting the show again?
I think that I think that's not going to do. It's not going to do it.
They're rebooting it again.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Amir, they're going to do it. They're going to do it in the UK.
Oh, they already did that one, Lori.
No. They're filming the US version in the UK.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
They're going to go where they were last hot.
Well, the reason why what I heard they're doing it in the UK is because, Amazon picked it up. Amazon is the company now, and it's going to be out on Prime. And the thing of it is that they don't want to build the set here, and the set's already built in the UK. So they can save millions of dollars without building the set here.
Right.
and do it in the UK. But now it was supposed to start filming in October of this year. They postponed it till January next year. And now I heard again that it's postponed again, and they're looking for a location and they don't know when it's going to happen. So what I'm really curious about, Rico,
Yeah.
is let's think of this. Think of the timing of our show.
Yeah.
Crash TV. Everything was like, bam, it was big and big hair and everything was amazing. What is it today? Sure in the fuck isn't Crash TV.
No.
What are they going to do? I mean, they're going to be all these safety issues now. They're going to try to be so politically correct with picking the people, the backstories are going to be more dramatic, probably. I don't know. It's not going to be the heart and soul of the show that it used to be. And I don't even know if the people today in this day and age will even take to it.
No, I don't know. And like I said, you guys, like I said, the first season was a pilot, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you guys did it, it hit. And when it hit, it was amazing. I'm talking explosion. And I was from Orange County. When it finally aired that I was a champion, I was on the front page of Orange County Register. Yeah. Color picture. I'm like, oh, I went to a baseball game and couldn't see the game because I got mobbed.
That's so cool, though.
And after I got mobbed at the baseball game, that's when I said I got to give back, and that's when I started contacting the children's charities and saying I want to come help. I want to come help.
Yeah.
And you have any kids of your own?
Huh?
You have any kids of your own?
Yes, I have 2 steps, and I have my own.
Oh, good. Okay, how old are they?
Oh, mine is 34. My stepson that I raised, he's 44 and he's a paralegal. And draws down 6 figures a year.
You feel old?
No, I feel like you. I went in that ring. And
I'm just saying, having a kid that's like 34 and 44. It's like, oh my God, I remember like when I was that age.
Yeah. I mean, I debuted in WWE on TV at 40 years old.
Yep. Yeah.
I was the oldest rookie probably to this date.
Yeah. Should I give them a run for their money today even?
I was trying. I don't know if Tony Khan will call me back.
Oh, no.
But if he does.
No, I definitely think, Rico, the times have changed so much. The guys that he's working with right now, Lori, I mean, I don't hold much value in them. I'm sorry, Rico. Are
we going there again? I thought we took care of this last week.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Rico? I just got to warn you, though, because you're putting all your energy and time into these guys. They couldn't hold those 2 belts that you have behind you. I'm just saying,
Well, no. Last week I let it go. This week I'm not letting it go. Okay.
I apologize, Lori.
No arguing on the set.
I know. These are my guys. These are my proteges. I explained it last week. They're not clients yet. They're my proteges. Right. So you got to give them a little room to breathe. They have to have time to adjust to my training. Okay. Yeah. My training's not for everybody.
Right. Where are you located? Where are you at now?
I'm in Vegas.
Oh, you are?
No, but right now I'm in Las Colinas, Texas, giving my styling tips to the rich and famous, because I am the stylist.
Yes.
So I travel around. I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico last week before at the Kirkland Air Force Base. They had a big to-do there, and I had to decorate the ballroom and make sure the decorations were there. I was in.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I'm world renowned now after WWE.
He's styling everywhere, Lori.
Everywhere.
Awesome.
And the 2 of you are so similar. One thing I have observed here is that go-getter spirit. And that was very prominent back, like you're saying, Lori, the audience today has changed. Will they be able to handle it today? Because we have changed so much. I was blessed enough to grow up in that time period, and I think it was fantastic. I don't know. I saw a snippet of the new UK Gladiators recently, but no. They've got a big fancy set. They've got a nice presenter. I think he's an actor. He was on Doctor Who, the presenter they've got. But it wasn't, I don't know. Everyone sort of had the same costume as well now, the same color palette. It didn't feel like I said, I'm partial to the UK Gladiators only because I grew up watching that and I was a
Yeah.
kid, so they made that impression. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would hang in this market with the kids today.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I know that
Yeah.
my manager put me in for a commentary, and they said they were looking for an A-list host. You know, again, another A-lister. And she was like, "Well, why don't you just put her in, backstage commentary, the contestants or the gladiators or something like that."
Yeah.
But as long as Johnny's around, I'll never ever be able to touch that show.
No. Another thing just popped in my head, Lori. Remember they used to filter the Universal Studio
Yeah,
Tour people
yeah.
when we did the preliminaries and the quarters. They were just filter. By the end of the quarters to the semifinal final, people were not leaving.
I know.
People were bringing signs for their
Yes.
favorite contender, their favorite gladiator. The
Yep.
gladiators in between were like when they took this down and put this up, the gladiators were out there signing autographs for the fans, and it was just magnetic, electric.
Yeah.
And the fans I mean, the kids, the grown-ups, just as much as the kids. And they wouldn't leave, so they couldn't put another tour in because by the time the semifinals and the finals were there, they were staying in their seats. They
It's
didn't
cool,
want to
Rico.
move.
This is what we have to think about. I mean, we went through a lot of trials and tribulations with the show and everything else, and it was pretty damn cool to be part of something like that.
Oh,
You know,
I was
really
so glad I
was.
was a part of it at
Yeah.
one season, but I had the time of my
Oh,
life
but
there.
here's the funny thing: one season, and you made such a name for yourself in that one season. I don't remember. Here's the funny thing: I remembered you. I
Mhm.
remember Craig. I don't remember like 5 to 6 seasons after that, though. I don't remember these people coming in and out. I remember one or two of the females, but I
Mhm.
don't remember. There's a certain group that really just stood out.
Yeah.
You were part of that group. It's like, oh, Rico Constantino. I mean, the name just flows off your lips,
Yeah. Yeah.
See how she
And
says Costantino? She
Yes.
says it the right way.
do
He keeps
I?
No, you say it the right way because it's
Okay.
Costantino, COS.
Yes,
He was
exactly.
calling me Constantino, which
Yes.
is
No.
Greek.
Yes.
And
Constantino
I
became.
said, listen, there's nothing wrong with the
It's an English
Greeks.
thing.
Yeah. I said, I'm mozzarella cheese, not feta cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, Lori, if you look him up everywhere, they've put Constantino. It's
I,
like even on any podcast he's been on, they always misspell his name. So we've addressed that. Lori, I know your time is valuable to you today.
yes.
So we're
I
gonna
got running here. But
we're
what do
get
you, I mean, I would love to have more conversations. It's so much fun talking to you guys. And I
yeah,
know we just barely touched the surface on so many things.
yeah.
I know.
We did. So what we'll do then, Lori, is I'll be in contact with you again. We'll figure something out, a specific topic, and we'll have you come back on and we'll flesh that
I would
out.
love that. I would
So
love that.
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, and I want Rico on my podcast. And if Rico comes on, can you come with him?
Yes, I can.
Let's
Absolutely.
do it. And we'll
Let's
talk
do it.
about we'll talk about you guys. You guys can play off of each other and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
awesome. We appreciate
As
that,
long
Lori.
as you don't talk about MXM, I'm going to tell
Listen,
you again, you
Rico,
want to stop that. You got to
Rico,
stop that. You
Rico,
got to trust my talent.
Rico, we'll
You got
address
to knock it off.
Rico. I'm telling, we'll address this off camera.
You're
Okay.
so
Lori, Lori, thank you
Yes, sir.
so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. I'll be in contact with you. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been
Stay on a second, Lori, after we're done.
Yeah, stay on for a second. Thank you, viewers. Until the next one, we say God bless you. Have a great rest of your day. Until next time. Bye.